This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
You guys, it's 2 minutes till 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm having me a bit of a low-carb IPA.
I mean, honestly, I would not have known what that was. That can looks like it could be a lot of fun things.
Yeah, it does. But you know what it is? It's a fun IPA.
Nice. It's a day.
I've had a hell of a day, and I said, Grace, I'm having a beer during the podcast. We're podcasting at 5. Let's friggin' go.
Yeah, go time. Showtime. I mean, it's all things considered a beautiful day outside in Los Angeles.
Well, because
yeah.
now it's staying light longer.
Yeah, we had daylight savings.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Spring forward.
2 things. One, I'm so happy. I feel like this is seasonally depressed people's Christmas.
Yeah, it just feels like a weight has lifted. Even though I was a little tired on Sunday, I was fine with it.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is has it fucked you up at all?
A little bit. It did. Let's see. So we went to Vegas. We'll get into that. We got home. Vegas hack for anyone out there.
Oh.
We went Thursday to Saturday. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Our first night there, it was empty in Vegas.
Love
or
it.
empty for Vegas. Saturday at the airport, empty.
Ooh.
Calm.
Ooh.
Almost clean.
Wow. Because Sunday Vegas is World War Z.
It's apocalyptic. It is a zombie apocalypse happening there. This was so great. We got the first night kind of calm. Then we saw everyone kind of come in on Friday. And then by Saturday, we were out of there. And it was like ideal. Then we had all day Sunday, which is when daylight savings happened, to like recalibrate. So honestly, yeah, it didn't really fuck me up too much, except I just wasn't sleeping well.
I'm screwed.
Why? It's just an hour.
I don't get it. Like, I can travel to Europe. I feel jet lagged.
Really?
Yeah, like when I woke up yesterday.
Oh yeah, you've had a crazy,
I've had a crazy couple of days, but when I woke up yesterday and today, it was like when you wake up and it was 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had taken sleep meds or something before, and I was the night before, and I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
We'll see. But hopefully it reacclimates. But I am all about the sun setting later. I feel like we've got, like margaritas on a patio in our future.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like warm and crisp later in the day. I love it.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, then that brings us to Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
It's your first trip, first time getting on a plane since cancer.
First time getting on a plane since cancer. What a trip. Honestly, one of our best Vegas trips.
That's saying something. You got married there last time you were
there. I know. Aside from being like, proclaiming our lives to each other for the rest of our lives, it was a really great trip. It was just enough. We didn't like destroy ourselves.
Oh, something new and different for us.
Because my body, weird byproduct.
Yeah.
I'm in tune with it, and it will not let me destroy it anymore.
Wow.
Like when we got there, we had checked into our rooms. One, we stayed at the Cosmopolitan, which diehard fans know.
Yeah. Wait, what is it? If you know, you know. IYK. You know what I mean.
IYKY.
Icky. If you know, you know. That's where we stayed when we took the infamous Uber from Los Angeles to Vegas to see Britney Spears. It's a chapter in the first book.
Yeah. And it was, I haven't stayed there that I remember since then.
Yeah.
But walking in to check in, I was like, wow, it's all coming back to me. Because I was trying to think of any discernible, things about the hotel that I remember, and it was all just such a blur. And then also I've been since then to Vegas so many other times, and then as soon as we started checking in, I was like, oh, I remember this place. Like literally as we pulled our taxi in, I was like, this is where that awful Uber dropped us off. Wow, it's so crystal clear to me right now.
The Cosmopolitan, unless they want to give me a free room, is the first place that I pinpointed that Vegas smells like a dirty diaper smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, and it does everywhere.
Febreze,
yes. Well, everything was pretty okay. We got a room with a balcony, which I do not understand how they allow anyone in Vegas to have a balcony.
I thought that you couldn't even open windows in Vegas. I thought it was like a massive liability.
Full balcony.
Wow.
Overlooking the fountain, which is awesome because we booked it last minute. So they had cheaper rates, which is great for a room like that. But still I did not love being out on the balcony. There's something about it that I was like, your intrusive thoughts go like, what if I just like threw my body off of this?
No, or what if I just saw somebody else do that?
Right.
Because there's plenty of people, if you're on acid and a lot of stuff that you could go like, I bet I could dive into the Bellagio fountain and survive.
100%. Like, I bet I could Tom Cruise myself over to the top of this parking garage that's outside of this window right now. I couldn't believe that the balcony was as open as it was. It was very cool.
Without a psych eval.
Yeah. They had like one railing that was like a little closer. I was like, I see that they're trying to stop people, but people could really get over this.
Do you think they judge your mental state while you check it? Like, if you came in... like a wild raccoon, do you think they'd be like, there's a little like note to be like, don't give them balcony? You know what I mean?
I don't know. We were talking about the guy that checked us in because he was just like very low energy, but honestly, who wouldn't be working? I just kept thinking about like, how do all these people that work the front desk, they obviously work in hospitality and have gotten themselves like, is this a means to an end, or is this like the end, like for where they want to go with their lives? How did they end up here? Just classic Helbig wanting to know the life story of every person I interacted with.
Also, side note, have I told you, okay, I'm always talking to Chip about my mom and like how I'd love to move her out. We've talked about like, let's make a parent pack and move them all to Palm Springs. Or like, let me just get her closer to me. For some reason, Chip is always like, you know where I think your mom would thrive? I'm like, what? He's like, dealing cards in Vegas. He's like, I just feel like she would have the most fun, and she would just be like, everyone would love her and tip her big. I'm like, I don't think the 73-year-old in April is going to get a job on the floor. But I like what you're thinking.
I wouldn't want to put her in that situation though. I'd want, she's too pure. But the guy definitely just seemed like super mellow when he was checking us in. And then like, of course, like in line, there's like women with like the bride, like hats and sashes already. And I'm just like, wow, everyone is just a version of everyone else. This is so wild that you just see all the tropes immediately when you get there. But then we checked in, had like 2 drinks, and then I had to take a nap. Because I was like, I'm tired.
Totally.
And then also just the adrenaline dump.
The stimulus. Just like you haven't, is stimulus the right word?
Yeah.
Like a stimulus check?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you haven't been to Vegas in a minute and you also haven't traveled and then all of a sudden you just flew and you experienced, I mean, it is just like it's like you're living... It's like you're living in a pinball game.
Yes, 100%. Like I kept walking around having to blink. And I felt like it was
you had to blink.
Like when we play Mario Kart at home, like we'll play around and then both of us will go blink, 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 because we'll realize we've kept our eyes open the whole time that we're playing the race.
Orange.
Yeah. And so I just felt like my eyes were just getting so dry and watery at the same time because I just wasn't blinking.
You were taking it all in. Well, even here's a real friendship offline story. Is last week I was at Petco, like I was earlier today, because Beans is having a lot of health problems and I had to go get like specific food. And I was already like emotional and whatever. And I'm standing and I'm like, you mean a vet has to send a prescription for kibble? Like, just it was blowing my mind. And then all of a sudden I got like the sides of my eyes, like 2 crescents in my vision started zigzagging. Yeah. And I was truly like, is this where I die? Do I die in Petco? And I was like, do I sit down? I don't feel faint. And I just started walking to my car like the guy who likes sugar in Men in Black. And I was like, I just got to get to my car. Oh no, but what if I pass out in my car? Should I stand outside of my car like a car model in case I pass out? Because if I'm in my car, people might think I'm asleep. And I get in the car and I immediately text you and I'm like, oh, by the way, let's push our podcast on Friday. I've got like crazy vision and everything. And you're like, oh, I've had that. It's a migraine.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've had it associated with headaches, but I had it during treatment occasionally. And same thing where it's like, it looked like I had stared into the sun and then I looked at something and I was like, things are zigging and zagging. Like glitching. Yeah, that it looks like I like looked at something I shouldn't look at, like directly into a light or something. And now, and it will make you crazy.
It'll make you crazy. So anyway, we both had a moment this past week where we were like, I need to hit reset on my brain.
Yeah, this was it was very fun to be there and immediately be like, oh, I love this dumb shit, and then be like, thank God we're leaving like the day after tomorrow, because this is just so much all the time.
No, 2 nights was a good call to dip your toe back in. You know?
Oh, yeah. Because so the first night we went to, Elliot goes, because we first went, we had no plans. We're like, we'll just figure it out. Yeah, as we go. Oh, I love, and I also, the control freak in me is like, what the fuck are we doing though?
I just thought that's fun and the absolute opposite thing I'd ever do.
Like
I wish I could.
I really have this fantasy of being this carefree, go with the flow person, and that's just like not who I am. So
I mean, like, we can eat whatever. I do have 5 reservations at various times just in case, but like, let's play it by ear.
Yeah, exactly. And so Elliot that morning before we got on the plane made us a reservation at this restaurant in the Cosmopolitan.
I have been wanting to ask you what the fuck this was on your Instagram story for days.
So he's like, I made a reservation at a psychedelic restaurant. And I was like, what?
That sounds like something a parent would say.
Yeah, I was like,
and you're like, you mean mellow mushroom?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have all black light. Okay.
Oh, cool. They have one pizza named after the Grateful Dead. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, trippy, man.
And that's why I was like, I don't understand what this is. And I like tried to look it up. And then I was like, and I asked him, he's like, I know as much as you do. I was like, okay. Practice and letting go. We're just gonna go with the flow. I like looked it up and it said psychedelic Italian American like house party restaurant. Yeah, I was like, this is not making any more sense than if I knew nothing. So we go, and it's like fun. It was definitely a Thursday night because it was like not super packed, which was great.
What was the name of it?
Super Freako. Rolls off the tongue. Well, when we checked in with this guy that has, I thought low energy, but maybe it's just his personality. I was asking him, like, do you have any recommendations of stuff we should do? We're going to this restaurant tonight. And he was like, oh, there's another show called Absinthe, which is basically a version of the restaurant, but like as a full show.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, oh, how cool. And then Elliot was like, we're not going to go to that. Because I feel like after we do this tonight, we're going to get our like times worth of this like thing.
Also, you guys already have the best story from a Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to an Absinthe or something.
Yeah.
You bounced up a little lady.
Yeah, we didn't, but she with consent got bounced.
Okay, pop quiz real quick. 10 seconds on the clock. How many things can you name that are always growing? Like your relationships, your skills, your love for your pet. Well, how about your businesses on Shopify? If you've never heard of Shopify, well, honey, let me tell you a little bit about it. Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. I don't care if you are starting off. I don't care if you have 10 employees. Shopify works for all different sizes of businesses, okay? From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million order stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soaps or offering outdoor outfits, they're going to help you sell everywhere, okay? From their all-in-one commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever, whatever you're selling, Shopify has got you covered. They help you turn your browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. We're talking up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. If you have a business, why not go, hey, would I like 36% more people turned into buyers? Well, maybe you should give Shopify a hand, okay? You're going to sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. I have friends who have used Shopify, and I've seen them starting out and then growing, and Shopify still works for all different sizes. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That is freaking crazy. And they're a global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, which has been a sponsor and I wear often, Brooklinen, we love those sheets, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/weird. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/weird now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/weird.
Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there's more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started and get after your goals. 2-minute meals, everybody. You can fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant quality meals that are ready to heat and eat whenever you are. 2 minutes. Pancakes, smoothies, and more. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. There's no prep, there's no mess meals. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed, and flexible. They are flexible for your schedule. You can get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. Factor's the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, premium options with no cooking required. Sign up and save. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. I loved Factor meals. Obviously, while I was doing treatment, I didn't love cooking, and these were so easy, delicious, nutritious. Like I said, 2 minutes, no muss, no fuss, no cleanup, no prep, none of it. It was fantastic. If you're interested, head to factormeals.com/TMGW50 and use code TMGW50 to get 50% off. That's code TMGW50 at factormeals.com/TMGW50 to get 50% off. So we went, and I was like very nervous because Elliot, like, he showed me a picture, and it was a woman sitting at a table with a puppet next to her. That's the one I was just to show you. That's the photo he showed me.
I was just gonna be like, do puppets talk to you at this restaurant?
That's what I was. That's the only thing I knew about it, and I was really paranoid because every time we watch these Disney adults doing their Disney vlogs, a lot of times they will interact with the characters at Disney, and it cringes me out to a degree that I should really investigate psychologically, because it does just make me so like fast forward.
I agree. Any adult who stands in line to meet Dale of Chippendale, like without a child, honey, we gotta dig deeper.
It's also, to me, when the face characters, they're interacting with the face characters, then it's weirder. Like I'm just watching two adults play make believe with each other, but one of them is being paid and one of them is paying money for it.
Like, anyway. It's essentially one big meet and greet. But like the character isn't real. It's like if someone was dressed up as us. Yeah. And it was like, hey, go meet Grace and Mamrie.
Yeah. So I just don't like, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it just, so I saw that and I was
super
like,
freako.
Elliot, what the fuck, man?
Poor Elliot is like, I planned something fun.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, it's our first trip. Let's go. Let's do it. We'll say yes to everything. It's going to be really fun. And then we get there and it's like, oh, okay, I got it. It is like a black lit restaurant, basically. Everything's like glow in the dark and everything's very like, ooh, trippy. And then there's a DJ in the middle of the restaurant. The restaurant was kind of not fully packed. So it was like, okay, I can see how this place would get crazy when it's packed. Basically, every other song, some sort of performer came out and did something like a...
Were they all in mascot outfits?
One was a giant, crazy-ass, scary-looking like furry that looks like it's at the end of the furry convention.
Well, this looks like
I got fucked at the furry convention.
This looks like a cat with mange.
Yeah, it looks like... Mascot. And that one came out to the song...
Pussycat Dolls?
No, Baby I'm Worth It. What is that song?
Yeah,
oh, baby, I'm worth it.
And
it kept touching its own ass to I'm worth it. And it would squeeze its cheeks at tables. And it was a great bit. Solid bit. 10 out of 10. Worked at every table that it did
it. Other people touch its cheeks?
No. But I could see how when it gets rowdy, they would do that. But this thing like was moving along. Thankfully,
I'm going to Vegas tomorrow to see this.
It was so fun. It was expensive, but it was so fun. And where we were sitting too, thankfully, I was like out of the line of like, as soon as we sat down, I was like, okay, cool, we're fine. Like if things pop up, it's not going to be near us. And so then we like quickly realized like, oh, every other song a different performer comes out. So this one woman came out as like, she looked like olive oil, but was like playing drunk with a big thing of like champagne, and then got up on a booth and did like a full burlesque thing and like took her shirt off and had tassels. And, like,
I love this shit.
Yeah, fell into the booth. Another guy came out and put bottles of champagne down and walked on top of them. And then like another girl just came out in a big penguin mask and walked around. And so it was like very trippy.
Yeah.
But also because the restaurant was like on a Thursday, you could tell it's like they're at like 50% energy.
Also, what time was it?
It was like 8:30.
Okay, I bet at like 11 o'clock on a Friday.
Oh, totally. So
like people are humping the mange cat.
This was tolerable to me because I was like, perfect. I don't care if I have B team lineup here. This is great. This is very fun. So we probably saw like 5 or 6 different people come out and do things. And then it was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Because at this point we had not found the ponies yet.
Wait, but did Elliot enjoy it?
He did. He really enjoyed it. And because some of the performers were just people in crazy costumes. Like a woman had a big wig on that had like Christmas lights in it. Okay. And she just kind of walked around and like didn't really do like a talent or anything. It was just like, here's my presentation of this costume.
But you didn't have to give them dollar bills like a drag brunch.
No one was.
Okay.
Which now this is the first time I've thought about that as a possibility. But no one was doing it. And it was just like, oh, okay. Fun to like, if we wanted to sit here and like see who else comes out. Mm-hmm. But we were like, we got to find ponies because Cosmopolitan did not have any. And then we walked over to Bellagio right next door. Boom, ponies there.
They got the ponies at the Bellagio.
And that is the only place that we found them in because the next day we walked to like 4 different casinos around us and none of them had them. So we ended up playing ponies at Bellagio the whole time that we were there.
Not a bad 48 hours.
But it was so great because the ponies were right in an area where everyone... like the last day we couldn't even play them because they were full, and I was proud that they were like getting their due.
You've absolutely saved their career.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is what you guys deserve, this attention, because it's right in this like major walkway. So even the times that we did sit and play, everyone comes by and sits and watches and laughs.
What are these tiny little guys?
And it's just it's so fun to watch everyone experience this game for the first time and have this unbelievable like, what is this? And I'm like, yeah. They're tiny toy ponies and they run this way and then sometimes they run the other way.
I want tiny greyhounds. I want tiny soccer games. Yeah. I want to bet. Gambling would be, I would rather bet. This sounds crazy. I would rather bet on like, a glass dome like the pony game.
Yeah.
Watching a roulette table of tiny people playing roulette. Yeah. I'd be like, my money's on the redhead. Yep. You know what I mean? Rather than play roulette myself.
Oh my God, that would be great. Then
I just want tiny Vegas.
Hunger Games is adjacent.
I just want like diorama.
Yeah,
Vegas.
I want more interactive toy games. Like that's so fun to me.
I want hungry hippos.
Right.
You know?
That's great.
I want competitive Guess Who.
That would be a great idea for a casino. I came back and got really high on like Sunday night and was like, Elliot, I have $1 million movie idea.
Yeah, okay.
It's Toy Story, but with slot machines.
Okay.
Because all the slot machines are themed out in different themes.
And they're just jumping around?
They all interact when no one's in the casino, that they all come to life and all of the different things.
You know what? That's very Night at the Museum.
Right. Yes.
Night at the casino.
Some hodgepodge of those two. But Super Freako wasn't the best experience because the next night I woke up and was like, we got to get something going for tonight. Let me get some tickets.
Okay.
And I found David Copperfield tickets.
Okay. You love a fucking magician.
Dude, but David Copperfield holds a special, special place in my heart because growing up with my parents living near Atlantic City.
Oh, true.
We would go to the casinos pretty frequently for like shows or restaurants, like never really to gamble. We were children.
Yeah. You saw a pony game out of the corner of your eye and you've been forever changed.
But one of the first shows I ever went to was David Copperfield in Atlantic City, and he made a motorcycle disappear and it blew my fucking mind because then it comes back and he rides it out of the audience. And when you're in 4th grade and you see that, it's like the most mind-blowing thing ever. So obviously,
No, I was going to say the most magical thing is how he still has the same face he had 40 years ago.
It's a little different.
How old is he? How old is he?
He's like, how old is he? 67. We looked all this up. He's from New Jersey. It all makes sense. So I buy these tickets. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to see him. And I'm an adult.
Haven't seen him since?
No, haven't seen him since.
Oh, Grace, this is huge. This is huge.
Huge. It was huge. I was excited all day long.
Yeah.
So we go. It's at the MGM. It's in the David Copperfield Theater.
Yeah, you know it's going to be good when you're seeing the guy who the theater is named after.
He's a legend. Also,
do they have the Carrot Top Theater? I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Carrot Top is there every night still. But also it's like, why is this man still doing a show? He's 67.
And he doesn't need the money.
He's a billionaire. David Copperfield is a billionaire. We found that out after the show because the show was insane.
Really?
We are speeding to the MGM walking because we were running a little late, and I was like, I don't know what the protocol is going to be. We got to get there.
Yeah.
So we are power walking, and then there's like a billboard for it right outside the MGM, and the billboard has David Copperfield and a dinosaur and a UFO on it. And I thought, these are all the shows happening at MGM. They just put them all on one billboard. No. David Copperfield, I won't go into the specifics. It'll take too long. He, at one point, makes a UFO appear.
Did Elliot come?
Yeah, this was like, I just kept sitting there. For me, I was like, this is wonderful. But also, I just gave my husband tickets to the greatest show that is tailor-made for him.
Yeah.
Because he made this show, and the theme of it loosely. One, he comes out, the audience is dead. The audience sucked. We were screaming and clapping and standing up the whole time, and everyone else was like, very, I don't know, more reserved, something.
I feel like everyone else who was there because they couldn't get tickets to a different thing.
That's what
and
it felt
you went
like.
There specifically for him.
Yeah. I went there as like a Bizarro super fan, and everyone else was either just like Magic fans, like politely studying it, or they just had to go because nothing else was free. The theme of his show, it's still tough to wrap my head around because he came out, he looked like Mark Cuban. And I was like, oh, he looks a little different.
You know what that is? That's the Just 5 hair dye, which I have used for my eyebrows now. And guess what? It's a game changer.
That's what I've heard.
Continue.
Yeah. So he comes out, and immediately I'm like, this is amazing, because he's at about 60% energy. He's got another show. We went to the earlier show. He's got another show that night. He does 13 shows a week. And
what?
Yeah. And he is just mumbling through. Like, I'm hearing maybe 50 to 70% of the dialogue that he is doing, because he's on a time limit too. Like, these shows, everything is timed out.
You got to get him in. You got to get him out. And also, I'm sure the majority of the audience had some type of walker.
Yes.
Scoots.
We were in the younger demo of the audience. But basically, this show is about how he didn't get to say goodbye to his father before he died. And his father wrote him a note that he's been too scared to open his whole life. And then he found out when he was going through his father's things that he worked at Roswell. And at one point, he makes an alien appear that's like Baby Yoda. Sorry, these are spoilers if anyone's going.
I think I am going to speak on behalf of the entire listening audience that you can spoil it for us. Mm-hmm. We'll still enjoy it.
Someone has to go and tell me if it's as crazy as Elliot and I thought it was. He goes into the audience a lot too and does the magic trick in the middle of the audience, and a camera will come out and follow him, much like the Teresa Caputo show, and you can see, and he just makes eyes at this camera constantly. It's kind of a joke, but it's so wonderful and hilarious the whole time. He does like magician, like, can you believe it eyes.
Do you think there's a culture of women who like that's their biggest crush?
I absolutely, or at least yes, I'm gonna say yes, there is, because he was like pre Chris Angel, pre Mind Freak, like he's kind of this godfather of magic that was like having television programs. Like he was on TV and
he was wearing tight pants.
He was doing everything.
In leather.
Yeah. And the whole thing is about like his dad being like, you went off and lived your dream. And it's crazy.
Is the dad saying this in the letter, or is the alien saying it on behalf of the dad?
So the alien named Blue that literally comes out and looks like Grogu and moves independently of David and talks the whole time with a voice that sounds like Bill Burr for some reason.
It probably is.
That's what Elliot was like, this sounds like it could be Bill Burr. And then says he knew his father and Blue knows what it's like to not get to his family. So David makes a UFO appear in the audience to take Blue back to his family. And then he is left with a letter from his dad. And it cuts to like a video of adult David hugging an actor that's playing the father of him. It was unbelievable. And then he circles back to the beginning of the show. He talks about having this dinosaur with a gold tooth.
What are you talking about? You mean he has the bones?
A toy that he took with him everywhere.
When he was a kid.
Okay. And then I don't even know how it wrapped around to this because, again, I could only understand like 50% of what he was saying.
Literally going this weekend.
He makes at the very end a fucking big ass dinosaur show up that's doing all the Jurassic Park moving around, big gold tooth like his toy that he had when he was younger. And that's how the show ends, with this insane dinosaur going through the audience. Oh, by the way,
it goes into the audience?
It brings it into the audience. It's showing like in a box that they turn around so you can see it from all sides. I forgot too. He opens the show with an empty box that then has a fabric on it, and the fabric comes off, and he's on the fucking motorcycle.
He's back on the cycle.
And that's how the show started. So I'm wet from the beginning of the show.
Your mind. You're losing your fucking mind.
The show starts with him on a motorcycle, and I'm screaming, and no one else in the audience is like reacting. And I'm going, this is amazing.
I hope there was one woman there who was like, oh my God, that's the girl from the Caputo show who would shut the fuck up. Yeah, she's following us.
That's what these shows are for, to be entertained. And I was entertained. But yeah, then he ends with this big ass dinosaur. And the whole like show's message is to inspire the imagination of the audience, that like he wants his magic to be so unbelievable that it inspires people to dream big. Because his new thing, by the way, he also was like, follow me at David at Copperfield.
And you did immediately.
I didn't.
Oh. He's like at LinkedIn, Friendster, and Squarespace.
I do want to follow him, but his new thing is he's going to make the moon disappear. That's his 2024
resolution.
Yeah, that's the trick that's happening this year, apparently. So, because he's made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Right. That was his big thing.
But like with the moon disappearing, is this a televised special that he's teasing?
I don't know. He really wanted everyone to email him.
I wanted to do a skincare routine. That was my 2024 goal.
I know. It was,
and he wants to make the moon disappear. He's going to make my pores disappear.
When you see his social media, his description is like making the moon disappear in 2024. So that's what's coming down the pipeline, apparently.
Also, David, you're going to fuck with all of our menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
If you make the moon disappear.
Yeah, that's very true. Has he even thought about women? Probably not.
Probably not, Copperfield.
The one really fun thing is every table had a box on it, and in the beginning he was like, okay, I want everyone to put their phones in the box, and then he never mentions it again, and so everyone keeps their phones in the box. However, he did mention that like if you do use your phone, if you're on your phone at all, he makes a joke of like there are lasers in the back and they'll like shoot lasers at you. Literally, someone's on their phone, a laser from the back of the audience just comes out and like circles on someone's phone.
Cat laser?
Yeah, literally like just some big green laser, to the point that I thought it was part of the show. And then Elliot and I talked afterwards. I was like, did you see that? He's like, yeah, it was because someone was on their phone. I was like, oh my God.
They need to give Patti LuPone
a
laser. Right? I mean, if I was an actor, I'd be like, can I just cat laser point someone in the audience if I think they're not paying attention to my brilliant performance?
Yeah.
Riddle me this. Did you know that nearly 75% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about? Yeah, that's right. They sign up for something, they're paying for it, probably monthly, and they have no idea that money is even coming out of their bank account? Well, that's because they haven't used Rocket Money yet, okay? Rocket Money will save you both a lot of hassle and a lot of money by canceling unwanted subscriptions for you. They can be your middleman, baby, okay? I had no idea how much money I was actually paying per month, just automatic withdrawal for things I never used, or I signed up for like one of those weekly or month-long trials, and then they get you in the end because you forget you ever signed up for it, or because Chip and I live together and I didn't realize we were both paying for the same feature. Well, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings, okay? They will even try, this is my favorite part, they will try to negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. Yeah, maybe you are paying paying for a service and you do use it, but you know what? You don't know if it's worth the cost. Don't worry. Rocket Money will go in there like a little lawyer and try to get the bill to be lower. Okay? All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They are going to deal with customer service for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting money on things that you don't actually use, okay? And use that money for stuff you actually like. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/TMGW. That's rocketmoney.com/TMGW. rocketmoney.com/TMGW. Go do it. Save the money, honey.
With Stitch Fix, you'll get a stylist who understands your style, your size, and your budget. They do all of the shopping for you. It is the easiest way to transform your wardrobe this season. I love Stitch Fix. You know that confidence boost that you get when you put on a really amazing outfit? That's what you get from Stitch Fix. When you look good, you feel good, and it shows. Here's what you do. You give your stylist your size, your style, and your budget preferences. You can order boxes when you want and how you want. There's no subscription required. Your stylist will send 5 just for you pieces, plus outfit recommendations and pro styling tips. You keep what you love, and you send back the rest. That's it. It is so easy. Your personal stylist will send personalized pieces and the fit will be flawless. It's like they read your mind. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. I have this jacket that I got from a Stitch Fix years ago that I still wear almost every other day when it's jacket weather. Stitch Fix makes it so easy. If you don't love something, like I said, you just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started today at stitchfix.com/TMGW. That's stitchfix.com/TMGW. Again, stitchfix.com/TMGW.
Wow, it feels like that was a very... Okay,
it was
so
amazing.
Many questions.
It was amazing.
Do you think with the dinosaur, do you think that's an actual memory he has, or do you think his director, producer was like, hey, David, so-and-so is shutting down. We have access to get this big dinosaur. Right. We need to somehow pigeonhole it into the show.
The whole show was so oddly personal that he was like blowing through as if he had zero connection to it at all, that I was like, so this is the show you went with to do 13 episodes a week or shows a week, that your father, you didn't get to tell him you loved him, and you have this letter from him that he opens the letter at the end of the show. I forget what the letter even says.
Does he even feign emotion during that?
No. It's like he is burning through it. That it made it hysterical to be like, this is objectively the material that is like the most painful for an adult to talk about in front of people, let alone like put so openly into their art. Are you like, do you believe this is a bad idea to do this 13 times a week with this as your theme? Because I feel like we could have gotten a UFO and a dinosaur without having to make it about your father.
Yeah, he could have called it like the evolution of magic and just been like, well, let's start a little bit ways back, cut to dinosaur, and he's like, not that far back.
Well, he shows photos of like, that's the other thing on screen. There's like some photos of his dad, there's some photos of him, but then there's this weird footage of like his mom and dad, and then that weird moment where he's hugging his dad, the same guy from the footage, that I'm like, so this is all, I don't know what's real and what's fake. This isn't inspiring me necessarily the way that I think you wanted it to. Maybe it's just your delivery of this article.
But I'm also curious, like, because his career is so long and he's been in Vegas for so long, like how many different shows he's done and what the log line elevator pitch of those were, because like, did they come up with a show and he's on year like 4 of it?
Right, because when we saw Penn and Teller down in Palm Springs, they were workshopping basically like their new show.
Oh, so people were coughing up thumbtacks and stuff. Didn't like,
yes, they did.
Teller have like a throat injury during it?
Someone went backstage and had to like come back out and apologize for something, and we were like, whoa, okay. So it was like rough around the edges. But I even don't remember what the exact theme of that show was. I just didn't realize how thematic the show would be.
Show us some tricks.
I was like, give me the heavy hitters, because I don't now, but like, sure, I'll take this animatronic alien that's sitting next to you for half of the show now, making quippy commentary in real time.
Was the alien funny?
The alien was charming. There were a lot of plants in the audience. Oh, he also is a bit of a germaphobe. He literally like Lysols everyone that comes on stage and Lysols everything.
Really?
And it's baked in as like a bit, but you can tell it's like very real. Because you're like, I get it. He has to use people from the audience, volunteers.
Yeah.
And he has to do 13 shows a week, so he can't get sick.
He wants a sleight of a very clean hand.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Anyway, it was great. And then the rest of the time was very chill. Went to a buffet and then went home, and it was like a really excellent Vegas trip. So thank you.
I love it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, speaking of trippy stuff.
Yeah.
My stepmom was visiting this last week.
Yeah.
Which was a blast. But my question is, because I know your dad's coming to visit like tomorrow, right?
Friday. Yeah.
Have you ever taken a parent visiting to a weed store?
No, but I have given them edibles.
Yes.
But I haven't taken any weed with them, nor have I gone to. I myself have only been to a weed store like twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, because we order delivery all the time.
Well, there's like a really like bougie nice one that's opened in this neighborhood to where it's like, this is half a city block. Like, how are you affording this? Whatever. But Anne had talked about like, because I told you she stayed at my house when I was in North Carolina a couple years ago, and that I got a message from her that was like, you didn't tell me the chocolate in the butter, you know, like area of the fridge, which is so funny. I saw a meme the other day that was like butter sitting up in its thing, like thinking it's better than everything else in the fridge. Not on the counter. But so she was like, you didn't tell me. And she had a little weed chocolate without knowing it. And which, God bless her, she had a great time. She was like watching Schitt's Creek for the first time she'd watched it. And she was like, I had the best night. You know, she even like did a sermon about it because she's a minister. She was like, I had a great time. So she had said like, I'd love a little, you know, like maybe we'd dabble. And fun. So I was like, no, we're taking you to a shop. You don't understand. Chip Morgan is here. It's like you take like the
Willy Wonka of the weed shop.
Yeah, it's like if you're looking for a dress, my boyfriend Christian Siriano is gonna take you shopping and let you know what works for you. So it was just so cute. It was like an adorable experience because we went up there and you know it's bright and whatever, and she's like, "This is wild." Immediately. Because we just show our IDs because you get put in a system. You know, you have to like sign a release essentially when you go in there.
Yeah.
That just says like you're not going to resell the weed.
Right.
They're like, we're not supplying weed dealers. Yeah. You know? And she gets in there and immediately they're like, oh, and just sign this on the iPad. And she takes a minute to find her readers, puts it on, and then she just starts scrolling.
Reading it?
And reading this whole contract. And he's like, I've never seen anyone actually read it. Yeah. She's like, well, let me just see. And we're just sitting. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so. I was like, can you tell us our first time in a weed store? Yeah. So we went around and it was great. And she was like, I want something that's, you know, happy. And so Chip got to even just like say the thing of like indica couch, sativa. And we're like going through all of this stuff. And it's just so absolutely cute. And then we get like some gummies and like a chocolate bar and we're checking out. And then she makes us take selfies.
Wait, at checkout? With everything?
At checkout. Like, I was fully, Chip was like, I don't know if we're allowed to take pictures in here. And the guy was like, you are, we don't care. And I was like, here we are. Mama's first weed purchase.
Cute.
It was really, really cute. So I was like, I think that's actually a very fun thing for people to do with their parents when they visit a state that doesn't have that.
Good idea. I am looking for stuff to do with my parents. We'll see if they're on board for
That's
that
a whole thing. That's a whole other thing. But no, we had a really nice visit. We went to go see Madonna on Saturday. Yeah. Which was very your David Copperfield of like, I've already said this on the podcast, but like I saw her for my high school graduation gift that Anne got me tickets. So now here we were like 23 years late, 22 or 23 years later. And we were supposed to do this like back in July and like the tour got pushed. Yeah. But so funny. Two things that stand out to me were one, the show before Kylie Minogue came out and they sang a fucking duet.
The night before?
The show before. She takes a night off in between.
Oh, okay. Which
is like gay Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, who are the guests going to be? And I was talking to Chip before we went. And I was like, you know what would be fun? He was like, who would you want to come out? And I was like, you know what would be fun? Is someone like Cardi B or something that comes out and like does a remix. Yeah, that'd be very fun.
Seeing her in Los Angeles. Like there's infinite amount of possible talent that could walk on that stage.
A million pulls. So I was like, oh, that would be really fun. I was like, just spitballing, you know? So we're there and we immediately make friends with the brother and sister in front of us who was like, he reminded me exactly of Frankie Grande, and they were high energy. and I was like, well, we saw her at the Drowned World Tour in 2001 at the Staples Center. They were like, we did too. And we were like, oh my God. He was like, the universe brought us together. Like we're absolutely kikiing. And he was like, well, he goes, don't get your hopes up. I'm going to say something and then I want you immediately just put it out of your mind. I was like, no problem. I'm kind of drunk. And she's on edibles. And, you know what I mean? Like she came, it's so cute. I'm outing Anne. I'm sorry, Anne, I am. But like when we like had to have one little tiny purse, you know, and I was like, okay, well give me your stuff so I can condense it because it has to be a purse that's this size. And she hands me, and I was like, vitamin. She was like, give me a look like, oh, it's your vitamins mixed with an edible. Okay. So we go. And so he's like, we were like, oh, we were both at that show. And he goes, well, don't get too excited. But I heard it's either Britney Spears. And I was like, no fucking way. Yeah. But she does a part in her show where they're just judging like a ball. Like a drag
I saw
dip.
that on your story.
So sometimes that's the big guest star. Okay. It's like they're not going to perform. Kylie Minogue performed.
Wow. Okay.
With her.
Gotcha.
Like Can't Get You Out of My Head.
Fun.
Her big hit.
Yeah.
And he was like, or Beyonce. I was like, this is not happening. Yeah. This is not happening. But it was the Saturday night Madonna show in LA.
Yeah. The build-up's huge.
So I was like, I know it's not that, but here we go.
And it's like Taylor Swift comes and brings a mystery guest every night that everyone's like, who's it gonna be?
And that's a different level of popularity and performer. But so we'd go the whole show. It was a very, very fun time and like very surreal. Not a single special guest.
That's wild.
Like a girl from Euphoria, God bless, I didn't watch it, so I'm sure people will be up in arms, like came out to do the judging. And meanwhile, like I was like, I don't even know who that is. And we looked, not a single guest. The very next show, Cardi B.
What?
Last night, Cardi B was the guest.
What?
And I'm like, I called it.
That's
and then
crazy.
It's the next night and I'm the one night without a special guest.
Do you think someone bailed, or do you think
I don't know.
that Euphoria actress is actually huge and other people are like, the Euphoria girl?
But here's the thing. I think the Euphoria girl, people would freak out if it was like at Olivia Rodrigo or Taylor Swift. But like I was surrounded by people in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So I was like, who's the girl with no bra on?
Did I don't know. When we landed, Elliot's got this bizarre kind of side fascination with Carrot Top. And when we
noticed,
when we landed, he saw a video of Carrot Top, because Carrot Top does his show and then goes back to his room and like will drink wine and make videos, and it's like him dancing to Toby Keith all the time, and Elliot finds it fascinating. But he's like drinking wine, making a video being like, I just finished my show, it's 10:45, a friend of mine is at the Madonna show and she just texted me right now and said Madonna just started. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta let Mamrie know.
She started at 9:45. It wasn't that bad. But I also, here's what I do.
Yeah.
Is there's a website called, I think it's called like setlist.fm.
Yeah.
I go because not only is it like, what set list are they playing in case I'm writing late, which I know a lot of people are like, I want it to be pure. I'm like, have you met me? No. Like I won't run a show.
That's what we did for Taylor Swift. That's why we left early, because I was like, okay, I just heard Bad Blood and okay, I can go.
Yeah, I will absolutely look up a set list and be like, we have to be there when it starts, because that's my favorite. I mean, put a stage manager mic on me. I'll be like, yeah. Do we need to clean up?
Yeah.
The third bathroom? Yeah, no problem. But so I was looking to see, it also shows start times and how long they play.
Oh, great.
Because that's nice too if you're going to go see something and you're like, are we almost through this?
Right.
Oh, they're going to play another hour?
Right.
Let's peace out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was very fun. But when we got there, we were beside this couple and they get up to get drinks and they come back and one of them are wearing a wrestling shirt, like a female wrestling shirt with a jacket over. And I was like, hey, I like your shirt. And they were like, oh, thank you. Do you like wrestling? And so I was immediately like, oh, I haven't kept up lately, but yes. And WrestleManias and this, and I know this person and I'm friends with this person. And then the guy behind us goes, are you guys talking about wrestling? And then it literally became 3 rows being like, yeah, man, These two guys were like, we keep trying to get our friends into more gays into wrestling because we're like, it's drag. So their whole thing was like, we keep saying like, it's so fun, it's theater in the round, it's drag, you should get into it. And I was like, I like your spirit. So like, I'm showing pictures of Fall Brawl. Like, this is all pre-show that it just felt like amazing. A hilarious moment where we're at a Madonna show and everyone's being like, do you like wrestling? I was like, here we go.
The Venn diagram.
It was fun. It was a good time.
That's great. Very
I enjoyed
fun.
myself.
Good.
But I also got home at 1:30 because she starts late.
Saturday night. Yeah, because you slept or you got home into the daylight savings.
So I got home at 1:30. I'm like, I need to eat some pretzels and scroll.
Well, of course. Yeah, you got to wind down somehow.
We had some Dot's honey mustard left in the kitchen. I was not going to not eat that. And I'm like... And I'm in the, like, Chip is asleep because he has an 8 a.m. flight. So he's getting up at like 5:30. So I'm in there doing the like pretzel soak in your mouth so you don't crunch. So you don't crunch it. So I get home, it's 1:30. I'm like exhausted and like start scrolling for half an hour. I get up and I look at the clock and it's like, it had just changed. The time changed. So then I was like 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
Lost the hour.
Yeah.
And then I went to bed. Chip was stealing all the covers. It's a snooth thing. So I got in bed and I was like, what's the point? I went back to the couch. 2 hours later, he comes out and he's like, why are you in here? I'm like, why do you steal the covers? And then he's getting ready. So I have been thrown off in my like timeline forever.
Yeah.
But you know what? Worth it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to get my inner clock together just long enough to go to Super Freako and David Copperfield. Because honestly, Grace, it sounds like the ideal weeknight weekend vibe.
Truly. Like, we saw art. It was
you
great.
did.
Like, Katy Perry was probably like the next best show that we've seen in Vegas. It was very fun. And it was, you know, when we landed in the airport, I went to the bathroom and there's a woman washing her hands next to me in the sink. And she just muttered to herself, I just want to go home. Out loud, just me and her washing hands, and then like dried our hands and like went out 2 different exits.
No.
And that's how I landed in Vegas. And I was like, what? I was telling Elliot, we were like cracking up, but I was like, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, is this bad omen? And
my flight to Duluth is delayed and I just want to get home.
I just want to say out loud as you're washing your hands with your head down in a bathroom, like just unaware of anything else around you. I was just like, whoa, that's quite a mood. And I've been there.
Could have been one of those remember that Tom Hanks movie where like he's just stuck in an airport for like a year?
Yeah. What's it called? Airport?
Airport Man.
The range. Yeah, that was great.
Layover, the long layover, whatever it is. Oh man, well, yeah. I mean, we had quite the weekends.
So gonna chill tonight, watch some Bachelor.
I'm gonna just hug my tiny dog. Yeah. And drink more of these beers.
Nice.
And watch Vanderpump Rules because you're watching The Bachelor tonight. You guys, if you aren't listening to This Might Get Real, we're having a blast over there.
And we got some opinions. We got some thoughts and Survivor. We're getting into it. Lots of people seem to be watching Survivor this season.
I know. I'm very excited. When I go into the comments of that, I was like, oh, wow. I was worried that was going to be the curveball where they were like not trashy enough.
Yeah.
No, lots of Survivor fans. And also, if you haven't ever watched Survivor before, there's only 2 episodes to catch up on. So you can absolutely do that and then join us for Friday's podcast.
Yeah. And also don't forget that we have a Patreon. We're going to be doing a live stream, not this weekend, but the next weekend.
An egg extravaganza.
Easter.
Etc.
And then the week after that, we'll be doing a book club live stream, Barflies.
Oh, I am announcing, I can do it right now.
Yeah.
The book. I've got the next book.
Oh, the next Barflies. Great.
Yeah, I've got the next book. I'm pulling up my Amazon because I ordered a copy of it.
Nice.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Have you seen the preview for the new Anne Hathaway movie?
Yes, which apparently I was listening to Tyler and Corey's podcast because we just hung out with them last night.
Are they canceled?
No. Not at all.
Hi, Tyler. Hi, Corey. We had so much fun last night. We love you so much.
They were talking about how it's based on a One Direction fanfic.
Is it?
Supposedly.
Well, then I wonder.
Rumors.
Well, then I wonder if Maria from motherfucking The Bachelor has read it since she was a...
Probably.
Well, anyway, I'm not sure if the movie is called this. It might be. But the novel is The Idea of You.
Oh, so it's it's based on the novel. It's not based on a fanfic.
No, but the novel could be based on a fanfic.
No, I think they were saying the movie.
Let me make sure.
Maybe it's a different Anne Hathaway movie.
The Idea of You. Oh God, hold on. Yes,
is it out already?
Yes, it is out. The novel's been out for like a few years.
Right.
So I went ahead and ordered the copy.
Nice.
And so when we'll do a Barflies and we'll like have our Barflies, I got to look at the dates, but we'll have it like the weekend before the movie comes out.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I thought it would be fun because last time I did Red, White, and Royal Blue, and that's when the movie was already out.
Yeah.
And so let's all read it together and then, watch the movie in
fun.
tandem. Woohoo!
How fun. Love that.
All right. Well, this was very fun. And based on that dinner you had in Vegas, this got weird.
Oh, yeah.